Oh, hey, how's it going? How are you? Good to see you today. I was just reading this book. It's called Big Magic: Creative Living Beyond Fear by Elizabeth Gilbert. It's a great read. If you get a chance, I highly recommend it. You should check it out. And I'll leave the link below so that you can take a look at it. I have it both on audio as well as paperback. And I'm even going to buy a copy for my daughter. Anyway, this is not a book review. I'm on today because I want to talk to you about making your own DIY polishing cloth for your jewelry. Sometimes our jewelry gets stowed away and it starts looking a bit tarnished. Yes, this is a very old piece that I've had. It's a pendant I made ages ago, and I want to give it a little bit of a shine. But I also want to show you how to make your own polishing cloth with some simple materials that you might have laying around the house. You don't have to go out spending tons of money on all these dips and things and feel like you have to have the best polishing cloth. There's some really simple things you can use from home that won't break the bank. So let's get to it. You might have a piece of jewelry that's like this, where it just needs a little bit of polishing, nothing too major. And also to something like this, because it has some black in the recessed areas, you wouldn't want to put this in a dip. Why? Because if you put it in a dip, you're going to get rid of all that beautiful black, which really helps the detail on the ring stand out. So this is not something that you want to do. So even though we polish our jewelry, it may not bring back that brand new, just bought jewelry luster, but it will definitely help you to make your jewelry look beautiful, and you'll feel like it just looks nice. It just has a nice luster that's been brought back after it's been sitting a while. Maybe it just hasn't been in circulation in what you've been wearing. So I know there's pieces that I don't tend to wear all the time, and there's pieces I don't go a day without, but I still wanted to go through this with you. So let's talk about our polishing cloths. So here we have a sunshine cloth, which is what I recommend to do some light polishing, even some deeper polishing. It just depends on, like I said, how deep you want to get into it. This polishing cloth it's in different colors. Sometimes they're blue, sometimes I've seen them in pink, and I think even in black. So they do have a bit of a polishing compound, and this one is a large one, so it opens up. It's quite nice and large. And this is what it looks like brand new. And then this is what it looks like when it's been used. Now, don't be afraid for your cloth to get dirty, and don't think that you have to go and wash it or anything like that. You never want to dip this in water. When it turns like this, it's actually a better piece of cloth to work with. When it gets like this, it's like the compound is kind of impregnated and settled into the cloth, and it's just not as stiff as the brand new one. Obviously you have to use it to get it to this stage, but this, I don't know, I just find that it works better. Even the jeweler that trained me also said the same thing. He just felt that when they get to this stage, they just work so much better. So don't throw away your old polishing cloths. Hold on to these. These are fantastic to use. But anyway, I want to move on to a towel. You wouldn't want to use a towel. Don't go for a towel. It's too abrasive. It's too harsh. As much as it's soft for our skin, it's just not a good choice for jewelry. Jewelry has that surface that can easily be scratched, and we want to avoid that. Some people use microfiber cloths, and I'm also a fan when I'm taking photographs of my jewelry. That's when I usually will use these, because then I can easily wipe them off. This is quick to use when I need it, right then and there. So I like microfiber cloths, and you might find that they're great too for you. But one of the things that has been our go-tos, it's one of the things I was trained with, and also I just continue to use, is an old t-shirt. Okay, you can make your own polishing cloth from an old t-shirt. Old t-shirts are soft, they're worn, they've been used, they've been loved, and they're not real thick, and the fabric is nice and soft. It's just been well loved, so it's been through many washings. It's really broken in, but I would highly avoid using this section. See right here where it has this print on it? Never use that, because that will scratch your jewelry. One of my all-time favorites is also either a flannel shirt or a pair of old pajamas. So I love this fabric. Flannel is just really nice. It's just nice and soft after it's been loved and worn. It really just breaks in really nicely, and it's good and soft for working with jewelry, for cleaning up your pieces. So that is one thing I will definitely highly suggest. So anyway, let's move on to polishing your jewelry, and then I will take you through the steps on how to actually cut up and make your own polishing cloth. Okay, so here we have the pair of pajamas. They're old and well loved. As you can see, I've got holes here at the edge where the stitching is, and also you want to take a look at where your seams are, because here's another seam here and then a seam here. Your polishing cloth does not need to be that large. If you look at what you can buy that's manufactured, it's not that big. So if you want to just basically make something that size, then you can easily do that with just a small section, and then you have plenty more material that you can still work with. I'm just going to go ahead and start cutting right here along the seam. Bring that into focus. So I'm just cutting along, okay? I'm going to cut this edge off because I don't need it. Okay, so now that that's off, we'll go ahead and finish it off. We might as well. Give you an idea of the size. Okay, I'm going to come over here and just cut along the side of the polishing cloth. And as well get to the top there. Now also, one thing to keep in mind, these are pajama pants, so there's this graduation as you know, from the bottom of the leg to the top of the leg. So with that, and obviously this polishing cloth has been kind of stretched out of shape, so don't worry about being perfect about it, but I'm just going to follow this line here. Along the plaid pattern, and there you go. And there's your DIY polishing cloth. Okay, so here we have 3 pieces of jewelry, and when you're going to use a polishing cloth such as the sunshine cloth, and you're going to polish something as tarnished as this piece here, this old leaf like pendant that I made, this is going to require a bit of work. So you're just going to basically rub the surface, and I put down a towel here because this cloth will, some of the compounds will drop off, so it gets a bit messy. So you're going to want to apply some pressure. Some cases I will lay the piece down, not always. You have to also be aware of the different pieces of detail that are around. Like in this case, I have a loop in the back that my chain or my cord can go through. So you know, I will, you know, just gently place the piece down on the surface, and then just apply pressure and rub along the surface. And that way, I don't want to do too much because I'm shaking the camera, but just to get some of that tarnish off. And you can see how it definitely brightens up the piece. You see that nice, beautiful luster coming back that silver has. It's such a beautiful metal. See how nice that looks? It's really, really starting to come alive again. So I'm going to set that aside though, and we're going to take a quick look at this piece. Now, like I said before, you'd never want to dip this into one of those store-bought dips, because the chemicals that are in those dips would then take off all this nice black that we want to really leave. We want to save that in the recessed areas of the piece. So with this, again, it's just a matter of applying some pressure and just basically rubbing the surface. And look at that, it just looks gorgeous. The luster is totally coming back. It looks amazing. And you can even go in the inside with the cloth. It's just about bringing that luster back. And then when you wear it, look at that. Instant bling. It's just gorgeous. I just polished these earrings just recently, but as you can see, some of the tarnish is starting to come back. Maybe you can't see it that much, but it's still there. And this polishing cloth here, our DIY one, is basically, you can just give it a nice little rub. Like I said, I do this whenever I'm taking photographs of my jewelry. Actually, you can even grab it from both sides so that you don't have to really do too much. But look at how pretty that looks. It just gives it a nice little luster, and it's just nice, and it's not abrasive. You know, like I said earlier, something like a towel would be too rough and it just really would scratch it up. So this is just a nice alternative to have on hand. Like I said, you can use an old t-shirt. Those work just fine. And there you've got your DIY polishing cloth. So now it's ready for the next step. And so is this piece. I shined this up all completely in front of you. So with these pieces, what you want to do after you use the polishing cloth like this, you want to then turn on. So you want to rinse your piece in the cold water. Basically what you're trying to do is take away all that, rinse away all that polishing compound. It gets a bit dusty, and as you can see what it's done to my hands, imagine what is still being left behind on your piece of jewelry. So put that there. And we'll do the same thing with this one. And now I want to give you a bonus tip. This little star earring. And there's a little bit of tarnish here on the chain. You can't really see it that much. And there's a little bit happening on the star. There's not much. You could technically go in with your DIY flannel or t-shirt handmade polishing cloth, or you can just add a little bit of hand soap onto your hands just like that, a little bit of water, and just give it a nice little scrub with your fingers. And just give it a nice rinse. And now that chain is glistening again. You'll also want to come back in with your new polishing cloth and just want to dry these pieces. Give it a nice rub. Not too hard on the chain. Some chains are nice and delicate and we need to treat them as such. But look at that. Look at how it's brought back that beautiful luster. Do the same thing. Look at how gorgeous that is. I mean, it's just shiny. You can really see the detail come out of it now. I really love this piece. It's one of my favorites, and I stopped wearing it for a while. I don't know. I might have to go back to wearing it. Okay, so there you have it. Now you have your very own DIY polishing cloth for your silver jewelry. Give that a try and see how it works for you. Let me know. Come back and tell me. Leave a comment in the comment section below. And also don't forget to click that subscribe button and also give me a thumbs up. I want a little bit of love. Please give me some love. No, but really, it helps. So anyway, thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye.